Hi, Georgia. Let's take a look at your week 4 assignment 2 drawing, which I thought you did a wonderful job on a very, very difficult subject matter. I think this is subject matter that you're working with, all the line work that you have to deal with, the overlapping, the shadows, and the multiple colors, would be, I think, overwhelming for anyone, and I thought you did a great job with it. For me, what is really kind of the most kind of impressive part is the way that you're dealing with all the wicker work or the line work that's being done. Having it, each one of these individually kind of flow, how they kind of move closer and closer together as they kind of make the turn, and seeing that in the object behind it and the object behind it, as well as in the shadows. It's just a really nice eye for detail. We're also seeing it in the text itself. You did a great job of capturing the text, the title, and the font of the title. You can even see where it's bold and where it's not bold, and where it makes the change in the font, where it goes from here, which is a serif, to road, which is a sans serif. You're showing that as well. Good kind of color. It's obvious you're not going to be able to match things up perfectly because the markers are just going to be different, but I thought you did a nice job of trying to create some nice distinction between everything. The only thing that I think could be improved upon in this drawing is some of the highlights and some of the shadows that are in place. I think the highlights may be more so than the shadows, because the highlights are going to start to separate the front part of the objects with the back part of the objects, which are going to be a lot darker, as well as kind of reinforce lighting situation. But there are certain areas where I really think you could go in with some colored pencil, hard and heavy, and just try to bring out some of those highlights. I think here especially, so that it shows that the front part of it is getting a lot of light. Down here as well, I think could really use a lot more highlight than what we have in place. And shadow wise, I think just down at the bottom, I think reinforcing some of the darker values of the shadow as it kind of hits the actual object where it lands on the ground plane. I think you could darken things up a little bit more. Some of the value of kind of the back end of things could also get a little darker. I think here and here they could definitely get just a little bit darker. And again, this is more to kind of reinforce where the light is coming from and to help separate things in the objects. I think the one problem I have is that a lot of this, because there's so much line work and the color is all very similar, they do tend to kind of mix together. Everything tends to kind of mix together. So finding something to help kind of separate things will make things clearer. But that's it's just kind of a minor nuisance amongst a really well, I think, done job. Observationally, it just really matches the ad very well, but just in terms of marker usage, I think within the chairs themselves it's working out really well. It's a little uneven in the water, although I'm sure that's kind of a purposeful thing to get it to kind of feel like the movement that the water is creating. And so I think overall it just works out really well for me.